Hi guys, I'm Sumbul and welcome back to my channel. So this video is about, as you have rightly guessed from the title by now, the best beauty products of 2017. So these are the products that I have loved using this past year and have used them quite regularly. So they were either launched this year or I started using them for the first time this year. And that's why I would just love sharing all my positive experiences with you guys. So without any further delay, let's start and view these amazing products. So these products are in no particular order and I'm just going to choose randomly. So I'll start with the two foundations that I've been loving using this year. And the first one is this NARS Sheer Glow Foundation. And the shade is medium to dark. So this is how it looks. And by the way, I did have to purchase this pump separately. So I was not happy about that. I think they should have supplied the pump with the foundation. It's a little, I'm not sure what to call it, but it's just not very practical when you have to buy these things separately. Anyway, so this is a light to medium coverage foundation on me, and I just love how it applies. It doesn't leave a dewy finish, it's quite mattifying. So I normally like to apply a lot of moisturizer, especially on my dry areas, and then put this on, but I think the effect is really beautiful. I'm wearing this one today and I think it's really flawless. I don't really like full coverage looks, so I normally just apply a very thin layer of foundation on my face if I'm applying it on a daily basis, and if it's a special occasion, then I'll go for medium coverage. So I rarely go for the full coverage look because I think it looks really heavy and it's quite cakey. So medium is as far as I'll go, and I think this is really perfect for that. Then the next foundation is this Estee Lauder Double Wear Stay in Place foundation, and I also loved using this past year. This is a bit more dewy than the NARS one because, as I told you, this was a little mattifying on me, but this leaves a really very good dewy effect, and I just need to powder my T-zone and that's it. And I took this recently with me on a holiday and I used it on a daily basis. It just provides the most natural coverage and I just love this foundation. So basically I alternate between these two according to the finish I want. If I want a dry finish, I use my NARS foundation, and if I want the dewy one, I use this Estee Lauder. And frankly, I use this more than my NARS one because mostly I'm feeling like I want to go for a dewy finish. So this is the ideal for that. Next is this Garnier primer. It's called the Radiance Concentrate with Pure Gold. And you can see how much I've used it. It's nearing its ending days. Still a little bit to go. So this is also one of my favorites. It's the ideal primer when I don't want anything too oily or too silicone-y. So it's just like a very nice serum, and it does provide a really good base for your foundation or your powder if you want. So that's why I've been loving using it, because I don't like anything too sticky or oily or even too silicone-y on my skin. So this is, I think, ideal for me, and that's why I've been using it non-stop. Next is this Laura Mercier Translucent Loose Setting Powder, and I also have been using this quite regularly. The only thing is I don't take it with me on holidays because as it is a loose powder, it gets really messy. So I normally like to keep it on my dresser over here, and the thing I like about it most is that it's very lightweight. It's so finely milled that when you dust it on your skin, you can't even feel it. It's very, natural and lightweight. And the way I normally like to use it is just on my T-zone, and if I'm wearing a really, really dewy foundation and I like to mattify it just a little bit, so I'll dust it over the rest of my face also. But mostly it stays on my T-zone and sometimes under my eyes. I don't normally use a concealer on a daily basis, but whenever I'm going out or when it's something special, then I do tend to use a concealer and then set it with this. I don't think it's the best powder for setting the concealer because I think it does dry a bit of the under eye area. So I won't really say that it's the ideal setting powder for the under eye area, but the rest of the face, it's just amazing. Next is this Tarte Amazonian Clay Waterproof 12-Hour Concealer. And as I was saying before, that I don't normally use a concealer on a daily basis. So I don't use this every day, but whenever I need something to brighten my under eye area, I use this. All the concealers I have tried, I haven't found a single one that is really flawless or not cakey. but this one I have found it to be the least so far, so that's why I like using this one whenever it's something special or whenever I need a concealer. Otherwise, I'd rather go without a concealer for a very natural look. I haven't so far found the ideal concealer for me, but this comes pretty close. Next is this Chanel Illusion d'Ombre eyeshadow, and this is in the color Epitant, if I'm pronouncing it correctly. Anyway, so I've just placed one of them in this video, but I do have quite a good selection of colors and I like all of them. But I thought that putting all of them in this video would make it really long, so I'm just going to mention one, but all the colors are just amazing. By the way, I am going to do a separate review on these eyeshadows concerning their formulation, pigmentation, texture and everything, so watch out for that review if you're interested. But for this video, I just say that these are really amazing and they can, you know, just perk up any eye look. So you can do it either with your fingers or with a wet brush. I do it both ways. I don't have a preference. Both ways are great. So you just take some eyeshadow and then pat it over any eyeshadow look and it just instantly transforms into a glamorous eye look. So that's why I love using these and they are a staple in my makeup cabinet. The next two products won't be a real surprise if you have been watching my previous videos, because they are my constant top mentioned products in my videos. The first is this Tom Ford eye defining pen. It's a pen liner with two tips. So it basically has one elongated tip and then one shorter tip for the wing. And this is my ideal liner and I constantly reach for this on an everyday basis, and I haven't found any replacement for it yet. So this stays constant in my favorites videos. And the other product is this, no surprises again, Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On Pencil. And this is the black one. And I go through these so quickly that you can't even imagine. I constantly use it on my waterline, and whenever I'm doing a smoky eyes, this is the first thing I reach for. And I just love the texture, the pigmentation, how smoothly it glides, and it, you know, some pencils really tug your skin. This isn't one of them. It is the most smoothest pencil you can find, and the pigmentation is great. Everything about it is great, and this must be like my 100th pencil. I don't know, I'm not sure, but I do like it. The next is a lipstick from the brand Sisley, and it's the shade L3. And this is my second stick because I just went through my first one. I was using it so much, so I had to buy a new one because I just love this color. This is the same color I'm wearing on my lips today, and I think it's just amazing. I don't like to wear very bright shades on a regular basis, but this, if I do want to wear it every day, I'll go for this. Normally I just use a lip balm or a tinted lip balm and then just put some gloss on top, but if I had to reach for a lipstick on an everyday basis, this is the one. So I like this shade so much. I don't know what you guys think of this shade, but for me, I just simply love it. Next is this lip gloss, and this is also from the brand Tom Ford, and it's the lip lacquer. It's the whitish transparent lip gloss. I don't have this for as long as I have some of the other items, but I have included this in this list because it is just amazing. In fact, I'll just show you on camera. So I'm not wearing any gloss, I'm just wearing the Sisley lipstick, and I'll just put this on. So a little goes a long way. So just look at the effect. I think it's really amazing. You can just perk up any lipstick and make it really glossy if you want. And the texture and the effect is just amazing. So this is also a highly reached item on a daily basis. So moving on, the next item is this Hourglass Radiant Bronze Light. So it's an ambient lighting bronzer, and this is how it looks. It's very natural with a hint of sparkle, and I think it's just amazing to put on top of your contour area to give a very bronze sun-kissed look. So normally I just brush a little of this on top of my contour and then put some blush on my cheekbones, and I just love the whole effect it gives. So I also just do a little swatch for you guys. So look how natural it is. Very subtle with tiny gold particles. It's an amazing bronzer. So speaking of blush, the blusher I've been using most regularly this year is this Tarte Amazonian Clay 12 Hour Blush, and it's called Party with 3 A's. party. So this is the one I've been using the most. Let me just point out that I have a lot other favorite blush-ons, but this is the one I've been using the most out of my other favorites. So that is why I have selected this particular one for this video, and this is my whole selection process for the rest of the items also. It's not that I don't have other favorites. I do have other favorites this year also, but these are the ones that will win if I'm considering the items that I've reached for the most this past year. So that is my whole selection process, just saying. So this blush-on, I think it complements my skin tone beautifully. It's quite a matte blush. It doesn't have a lot of shimmer, so that's why I think it's a great everyday blush-on, especially if you have, the same skin tone as me. And it's the most gorgeous and quite subtle pink on me. If you are lighter than me, then probably it's too dark for you. But if you are close to my skin tone, then it's just an amazing blush-on, and I'll just recommend it to anybody who asks me for a good blush-on. Next is this Becca highlighter, and this is the very famous champagne pop. And so not a real surprise why I love this. I think many people have raved about this highlighter, and I also think it complements my skin tone beautifully. It's the perfect highlight, and it's not very subtle, and the effect is also buildable to a very intense highlight if you want, especially with a damp sponge. So that's why I love using this, because you can get a very noticeable highlight in just a few strokes. So this has been a constant favorite in my beauty cabinet. Next is a contour powder, and this is from the brand Marc Jacobs, and the shade is number 16. So basically it's a duo. It's a contour and brightening powder, but I normally use just the contour one. So this is a very great color for my complexion. It's very smooth, it's not very chalky, nor is it very orangey. So I think it gives me the perfect shadows in all the right areas. So this is the one I've been using regularly and loving this year. Okay, so now the mascara favorite. This is from the brand Benefit, and it's called the Roller Lash. And I know you should not use a mascara beyond 6 months, but I think this is now 9 or 10 months old, but I like it so much that I keep on using it. I'm most likely going to throw it away after maybe a few weeks. I'm not really ready to part with it yet, but anyway, so back to the topic. Yes, it's been a favorite this year because I like that it's not very chunky. I can get a very natural look with it, and also not so natural that it's not noticeable. It's very noticeable but natural. You know what I mean, right? So that is why I like it, because it gives a noticeable but natural effect. And you can also build it, but I won't really recommend building a lot with it, because it will get a little bit chunky if you keep on adding layers. But if you want a very natural everyday look, you can get a really good eyelash look with this one. So that's why I recommend it for an everyday kind of a mascara. So this is a good mascara, and I think this is my second one, by the way. And I know I should purchase a new one, but I'm bringing myself to it. Next is an eye palette that I've fallen absolutely crazily in love with since the day I purchased it, and this is the Natasha Denona eye palette. And I don't know the exact name for this particular palette, but let's just call it the plain white palette, but because this is how it looks like. And these are the beautiful shades that are inside this palette, and let me just tell you, the eyeshadows in here are absolutely stunning. I am going to do a separate review on this palette also, where I talk about the quality, the price, the texture, the ease of use, the blendability, everything of that sort. So be sure to watch out for that video if you're confused about this palette, and if you want a full-fledged detailed review with the wet and dry swatches, because I'll be doing all the wet and dry swatches of the shades in this palette. So if you're wondering, you can watch it for that video. Anyway, so this has been a cult favorite of mine this past year, and I have been just loving experimenting with it, and I absolutely love the amazingly glamorous eye looks I can get with this. So no surprise that this is in my yearly favorites for this year. The next product is a body cream, and this is from Bath and Body Works. It's called the Moonlight Path, and This is in my favorites because I love the smell and the moisturization, the hydration it gives to my skin. I have been using this constantly on a regular basis after a shower for the past 6-7 months, and I think this is my 4th or 5th tube. I just love the smell, and I'm really sad that it's now finished because I don't have any way of repurchasing it, because in UK we don't have any Bath and Body Works so far, if I'm correct, because I don't know of any Bath and Body Works or a place where I can find this. I had asked my aunt to bring me this from America, and now I'm really sad because it's finished and I won't be able to smell like this every day. It's really gorgeous. It's really beautiful. I love this smell. And the last item is a perfume, and this is from the brand Estee Lauder. It's called the Modern Muse. And this is also what I've been loving using this year. Again, this is not the only perfume I've been using this year, but this is the one I've been using the most frequently. So that's why it's in my list, and the smell is just awesome. I'm almost finished with this perfume. As you can see, very little is left. It's so exotic. It smells like happiness in a bottle, if you know what I mean. It's amazing. So this was all for today. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Don't forget to leave a comment down below what have been your favorites for this past year, and please subscribe to my channel for more beauty videos every week. Until next time, stay beautiful.